What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we have a big list of 15 really cool and interesting looking watches that are going to be in the upcoming 12th anniversary AliExpress sale. Now keep in mind, these are just suggestions. I've not had hands on with these watches, but I just think they look pretty cool and you guys might be interested in them. So if you are, links for them will be down in the description. They are affiliate links, which does help support the channel, but it does not cost you anything, and I do appreciate it if you do support the channel in that way. If you can, if you can't, that's totally cool. I do understand. Let's dive in and talk watches. And the first one on this list is the Baltimore small seconds Quartz vintage style field watch. You guys know I do like my field watches, and I thought this one looked quite interesting because of the vintage style, and of course the small seconds being one of my favorite complications. A few different strap options as well, and you can also get branded and no branded dials. So if you don't like the branding, you can get it without, like you can see this one here. But then you can also get it with the branding if you do prefer that. Price wise, it's going to be seeing a couple of pound reduction. It's not massive, it's not the best on this list, but it's still a nice little reduction. Of course, you can add coins and other stuff to get that price down even cheaper. Just remember though that if you're in the UK, you're going to get taxed pretty heavy as well, so just bear that in mind when you do actually look at any watches on this list. So here's a quick look at the specifications. You can pause it if you want to have a good read, but it does actually look pretty well spec. We've got like Swiss Super Luminova, 100 meters water resistance, sapphire crystal, stainless steel, so it seems pretty solid for the price paid at 71 quid. Obviously that'll be more like 80ish if you're in the UK, and of course it'll be different where you live as well. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is this quite quirky San Martin dive watch, and I think this is going to be great for upcoming, the upcoming summer months with the really fun colours that they've got. So we've got a green, which I really like. They've got a navy blue, which I also like. They've got an orange, which is really nice as well. A yellow, a blue, which people are starting to get a little bit fed up of now, but if you still really like that, there is that option. And there's also a silver dial variant as well, so lots of different colours to choose from. I'd say the only slight drawback is the Miyota 8215. I mean, it's still a decent movement, but why they can't use something different, I don't know. But if you don't mind the Miyota, which is, again, it's a decent movement, then, this is a great find. I don't think it's a homage, if I remember correctly. I think it's inspired by, but not a homage of, but I just can't remember the exact model. Quick specifications check if you want to pause it and, take a look, but we've got like 200 meters water resistance, ceramic bezel, stainless steel, AR coating. San Martins are, really well made watches for the price point, so I thought this one was quite interesting. Moving on, we have another interesting one from a brand called Thorn. Now, I've not really heard too much about these, and I don't really see them being talked about all too much on YouTube, but they are getting a pretty decent price reduction, and I thought, it's a little bit different to the usual sort of sea stern and tactical frog homages that you see of this watch. You can see, the hands are a little bit different, the indices are a little bit different, but the case is pretty much the same as the Doxa that the watch is homaging. It's the 300T. Do get a couple of different colorways, so we've got a yellow, again everyone's favorite blue, we've got orange, and then we also have a black, all black as well, with the PVD. My favourite, I would say, is probably the yellow. I quite like that one, and the orange as well is quite nice. Quick spec check, so it's a Seiko Nh35, let's have a look at what else. Sapphire crystal, it's quite big, but I think they do actually wear smaller because the lug to lug is quite small. But yeah, it might be one for slightly larger wrists. Sapphire crystal, so pretty good on paper. Can't really say what it's like in person, but if you guys are interested, links in the description. Moving on. Now this one is technically not part of the sales, but you can actually get an anniversary coupon, which does bring the price down. So technically it isn't, but anyway, I just thought the price point was pretty impressive. Anyway, obviously it's a homage watch, but I just thought the green was quite interesting. Usually you see obviously the blue, they do a black, they do a silver, and of course they do a gold tone as well with the brown dial, which is pretty nice. Black and then blue. I think actually the golden brown is surprisingly nice. And then we've got a silver and blue, which I'm not so keen on. But this is the one that really stood out, the green. And I think there was quite a big buzz about the original in green as well. And it sold for a ridiculous amount. So when I saw this, I thought, you know what? That's actually quite nice looking. I think did on a pretty decent value as well. Quick spec check. So it's, let's have a look. 316L, 40mm diameter, 45 lug to lug. So it should be pretty small. BGW9 loom, nah, I'm not sure if they're playing a little bit fast and loose with that one, but you know, I think it's a nice looking little watch, and 31 quid. Spec check is there, so it is Quartz. I'm presuming it's probably going to be something like a Myota or something like that for this price point, but yeah, I just thought it were quite interesting for the price. Now we get on to this one, and I think this is quite a popular one as well. You can actually see it's a little bit cheaper there as well. So let's pop this one up, see if this is part of the sales. Oh, it's actually different because it's not got the numerals, but this is part of the sales as well. So you get this one for 28 quid. This one isn't part of the sales, but it is actually part of a flash deal. But you can also get a £3 discount off it as well, which does bring it to sub 30, but then that'll go back up once you get taxed if you're in UK. But anyway, so there is two little choices here. There's the no numerals or numerals. I think they're pretty much identical watches. Date window there, no date window. So yeah, kind of similar. So I'll pop both links in the description. Specifications wise, you know, it's looking pretty good. It's an automatic as well, which is quite surprising at this price point. It's using a seagull movement as well, so it should be pretty decent. Probably mineral crystal, steel construction, leather strap. Do you know what? It looks really solid value. I've seen loads of reviews and people are quite happy with these watches for the price point. So anyway, I'll link both of these. One's in the sale, one isn't, but you know. Anyway, moving on to a new brand that I've not actually heard of until I'd sort of did my research for this video, and it's Xiaomi. I'm not even gonna, yeah. Anyway, apologies for the terrible pronunciation, but I just thought this one was pretty good value. I think it's sort of similar to the Heimdallr version of this, but obviously quite significantly cheaper. Spec wise, you know, you're looking at a Seiko Nh36 for this price point in this day and age. I think it's quite impressive. Loom looks pretty good too. Colours, you know, you've got quite a few choices. You've got red, a brown dial one, which is quite interesting. I'm quite liking that. And then we've got, what else? We've got a red, a blue, which is nice as well, and of course a green. Quite drawn to that brown one, surprisingly. I wouldn't have thought that one, but yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool for the price point. And you also get a free strap as well, so that just further adds to the value. Specifications are there, so we've got sapphire crystal 316L, C3 loom, potentially. I mean, it's looking like a pretty solid value watch, and if you can get one for 86 quid, I think that is pretty impressive. So moving on to the next one, and it is a Carnival, or IW. This is the model number. It's a really nice looking watch. I don't think it's as a Homage, but I could be wrong. It kind of looks a little bit like a Tag, or maybe a bit Omega-ish. I don't entirely know for certain, but I think the discount is pretty fair. Loads of different options as well. So we've got a green dial, which is my favourite. We've got a blue, which is really nice, and a black. And then you've got a leather strap, and also a full PVD one. And then that as well. That's quite nice, actually. The green and brown, I do quite like that colour combination. Let's take a look at the specifications. So looking at an automatic movement, looking at it, it could potentially be an Nh36, but I don't know for certain. 100 meters of water resistance though is pretty nice. So moving on, we have a Tandorio. So I've had a Tandorio on the channel, and I was quite impressed. And I have seen reviews of this one as well, and people seem to be mostly positive about it as well. Two different movement choices, Nh35 and the PT. Either are solid choices. Colours, it looks like this one is just for the blue listing, but you can see they actually do it in grey and a few different other colours as well. It's just I quite like this blue one. So let's take a look at the specifications. So you can see right there, 300 meters water resistance. This is a little bit questionable. You know, they can just pretty much print whatever number they want on it, and yeah, you know what they're like by now. So yeah, there's your spec check if you want to pause it and check it out. But I think, you know, for 70 odd quid, I think it looks pretty solid value. So yeah, let's move on. Slightly more expensive, but this is a Homage that you don't really see all that often, and I thought it would be quite interesting to include on this list. So if I remember correctly, it's a Homage of a Blancpain. Apologies if I've butchered the pronunciation, but I thought the price was pretty good. Nh35, which does seem a bit pricey, but from my experience with Chronos, they are fantastically made, right up there with San Martin in my opinion in terms of build quality. Impressive loom to boot as well. A few different colours. The blue is probably my favourite, but they were a black and a green as well. A few different strap options. It looks like these are actually selling, you know, pretty decently. But yeah, it's a really, really nice looking watch, and again a little bit different. Date window, a little bit to be desired for me. There's your specifications. A little bit long on the lug to lug, so this one I might have to give a swerve just because that is a little bit too long for me. But you know, ceramic, sapphire, it's got all the right specifications. And again, Chronos makes some really impressive watches. And you know, a couple more pictures. Again, you know, you can check it out at your own time and pace. So moving on, we've got another really good watch that's doing the rounds. Well, that's done the rounds quite recently. And that is this Steel Dive sort of, I call it like a miniature pilot style watch. Usually, you know, your Fliegers, your pilot styles are quite big, but they don't always fit us guys with slimmer wrists. So I'm glad Steel Dive has, you know, made a sub 40mm one. So we've got a VX42, which is a Seiko Quartz movement. Sapphire Crystal 316L for 61 quid. I think that is absolutely cracking value. There's all your specifications, which is quite a lot actually. So yeah, it's a Japanese, so yeah, it's a Seiko movement. Really nice and compact, lightweight, and you know what, I just think it looks really nice as well. You know, quite legible even though it's only a small, really thin profiled bezel. Really nice finishing, and I just think, you know what, for 60 quid, I think that's a really good buy. Right guys, so moving on, we have another San Martin, and I do like my San Martins at the minute. I think they represent really good quality for money, even though they are on the more pricey end of the, you know, AliExpress, I can't talk guys, on the AliExpress spectrum. There we go, we got there in the end. So yeah, we've seen a reasonable price discount, good movement choices. I'd personally stick with a PT though, because I think the Solita, although it's a really cracking movement, don't get me wrong, I think it just pushes the price way too high. 242 with a PT I think is pretty solid. Couple of nice colours, and the reason why I like this one is if you see my recent video, I've got the Pagani of the same Homage. But I just think the San Martin will just, you know, destroy it in terms of quality. Which they really do. They've got a couple of nice colours, the blue and the black. I think everyone's getting a bit fed up with this blue, so black would probably be most people's choices. But yeah, movement's fantastic. There's all your specifications, so I'll just let you guys pause that if you want to read it at your own pace. But you know, we've got BGW9, which is really good loom, 316L. Really solid list of specifications, and you guys know by now that, you know, San Martin, they do make some really good quality watches, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be the same. So let's move on quickly to the first and only Pagani on the list, and this is actually one that I do want to get on the channel. Of course, I've seen good things about it so far, but this is the Black Bay Chronograph Homage, and I think, you know, for 58 quid it looks pretty good value. So you've got a couple of different strap options. You've got this really nice sort of nylon looking strap, which looks quite comfortable, which I'm presuming is going to be your cheaper of the two options. Or you can opt for the bracelet and spend that extra tenner. But I think that discount is really nice. So different dial colours as well. We've got the Panda and the Evil Panda. And it looks like you even get a strap with the thing as well. So it might just be worth spending that little bit more and then getting a strap as well as the bracelet, and then just mix and match between the two, well, or change them out, you know, whenever you want to. Quick spec check. So it's obviously probably going to be a Seiko Mecha Quartz movement in this one, which, you know, they usually use, you know, watches at this price point. But, you know, we've got all the right specs, stainless, sapphire. Obviously, you guys know about Pagani now. They can be a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes they're great, sometimes not so much, in my experience. But anyway, I just thought for the price point, it looked quite interesting. and it's there. So moving on to another one, and this is another new brand to me called Umashe. Again, apologies if I've butchered that. But yeah, I just thought this was a nice one. We've already seen a homage of this, but I just thought this one, just takes it up a level. So the other one was Quartz, this one is automatic. A few different dial colours as well. We've got the Tiffany-esque pale blue, a darker blue, a black, and a silver. I'm quite drawn to this this one. It's got like a fume sort of dial where it's lighter and then transitions dark. You can actually see the movement as well. And it looks like a Miyota, but I think for 65 quid a Miyota isn't too bad. It's the 8215. I mean, they're reliable and robust, they're just a bit noisy. Moving on, specifications wise, I'll let you pause that if you want to check it out. 50 meters water resistance is a bit of a letdown, but it is what it is. Moving on, we have an Addies dive. I am going to be picking one of these up for that price point in the sale. 46 quid I think is a really good price, but 33 quid for one, I think that is a really, really good price. And I will be doing a video with another watch as well. You guys might be able to guess, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. So plenty of different dial options and colour options. So we've got the Starbucks, what people call it, or the Kermit. Then we've got the Hulk, the Smurf, and then the all black one, and then a few different strap options as well. So we've got leather and nylon, but I think 33 quid is just an absolutely cracking price, and that loom as well for the price just looks brilliant. Really, really impressive. So I'm definitely going to be picking one of these up, and I'm thinking this might be my only pickup during the sales. I don't know yet, but Miyota 2115, really reliable movement for the price point. There's all your specifications if you want to pause it and check for yourself. Really, really solid list of specs. So now we're moving on to the last watch on this list, and this is a brand new brand to the thingy, I'm guessing. I've never seen these before, and they're called Pawns SRPE. I don't know how you pronounce that. Not the biggest discount, but I just think they've done, the homages a little bit different. They've sort of taken elements from Seiko's. I've noticed you can just see a few more examples there. But then they sort of mix it up and, use, like this one, they've used gladiator style hands and looks a bit samurai, the dial. So it's a little bit mix and match. So it's definitely not a one-to-one homage, but it does, blend a few different others. But we do have a Seiko Nh35, which I thought was a pretty decent price. Now these ones might be a bit risky with them being so new. There's not really any reviews of them. That looks pretty nice as well, the turtle. I'm getting distracted. Quick spec check. They look pretty solid on paper, but whether they're going to be, I don't actually know. I might see if I can sort of get hold of one, because I'm quite interested by them. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it. I know it's been quite a long video, but we have had 15 watches to talk about today. So again, all these will be listed down in the description if you want to check any of them out. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the sales, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.